Thank you. Oh,
It's been repaired.
it looks good.
Okay. Before we start, I'm going to begin with the mission statement for the district, and that is to ensure all District 118 students reach their full potential. Thank you.
You're welcome and thank you. And we believe that our administrators not just say it, but they live it every day. And for that, we're grateful. So thank you. At this time, I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Move to approve the agenda with the following changes. Remove agenda item number 12 and part of number 3, which is student discipline motions.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second to approve an amended agenda. Roll call vote. Do you want help?
Ms. Payne,
Yes.
Mrs. Courtney,
Yes.
Mr. Easton,
Yes.
Mr. Warfield,
Yes.
Mrs. Town,
Yes.
Dr. Holland,
Yes.
and Mrs. Holland.
Yes, thank you. Motion carries 7-0. Obviously, Ms. Robinson is having trouble with her voice, and boy, she's just hanging in there and just giving it all she's got. So, thank you. We'll try not to make you do too much. So, the next item then is, oh, this is exciting. Our next item, and I want to preface this by saying that we were asked after the last meeting to move student presentations to the beginning of the meeting because the kiddos need to go home and do homework or get ready for bed, and that made so much sense. So thank you for whoever suggested it, and we listened to you, and that is what we will do from now on. Our student presentations will happen before public comments from now on in the future. So at this time, we get to hear from the Northeast students about me, poems and pictures. So let's welcome the Northeast kiddos.
So tonight I'm excited to bring to you on my cool things that students do around the district treasure hunt from Northeast. This is Miss Hessler, and she teaches sixth grade, Miss Adams, and Mr. Lockhart, the principal, and their lovely crew of students, which is a sampling of some poems that they've done, and I'll let the teachers and Mr. Lockhart speak to you before the students do, but I just wanted to introduce to you, and you'll see their poem, they're incredible, their poems up there, and how open and honest they were, but you're gonna be super excited about their writing too.
Good evening. I am Kim Hessler, sixth grade at Northeast. So many moons ago, I did summer school, and Angelique Simon was next door to me, and she introduced me to this book called The Best Part of Me. And so ever since then, I've tried to incorporate that in my classroom and have the kids just pick the best part of themselves and write about it and share about it. There's so much issues with social media right now to, what I want to say, like, negativity, comparing ourselves to one another, and so we wanted to focus on something positive that they love about themselves, and it could be external or internal, whatever they really enjoy about themselves. So the first student is Brian Ocampo. Do you want your paper? Do you want to read it from the screen? Okay, go ahead.
The best part of me is my youthful, unique, astonishing legs. My legs are my favorite part of me because they help me run fast like a cheetah. Another reason why I love my legs is that in soccer, my legs are very useful, and legs are one of the most important things you need for soccer. My impressive special legs are my strongest part of me, and they help me jump or push things around. Legs are important to me because they help me kick things like soccer balls, kickballs, and footballs high or far with strong power. The next reason why I love my legs is they help me dribble a soccer ball around defenders and score goals against goalkeepers. Additionally, my legs help me get around to places and they resemble my dad's legs, which are huge and muscular. I feel like my legs are my favorite part of me because they're very useful in my daily life.
Okay, next we have Miss Emmy Shanks with her style.
The best part of me is my style. My style is fun, different, and it makes me who I am. The way I dress might not be for everyone, but it is for me. My style allows me to express myself in many ways. It brings out the best in me. My style is a Western kind of twist. When people compliment me on my style, it makes me feel good. My style comes from my father's roots down in Texas. I feel my style is the best part of me because it makes me feel like myself.
Next is Addie Chandler.
The best part of me is my heart because my heart is very nice and it makes me me. I love my heart because it helps me be nice and happy. I also like my heart because it makes me caring and it's great when I'm very, very happy. I have such a big heart because I'm so caring to others. My heart makes me feel free and happy. I want to help others. My heart loves when I hug people because it makes me feel so loved. It feels amazing when someone tells me I have a big heart. It makes me feel so good inside when someone is sad and I give them a hug. That makes me feel so good inside too. When someone falls and I catch them or I help them, it feels so good inside.
Alex Kilgore.
The best part of me is my lovely, complex hands. To start with, my hands allow me to draw or do other crafting activities. Secondly, they also let me write and type imaginative stories. Also, my hands have wonderful fingernails. They really just look magnificent. Nextly, my fingers are unique, and I just like if I had any other fingers. To add on, my hands allow me to feel my surroundings. Lastly, they give me the ability to go through my daily life and have a sense of normalcy. I feel like my hands are the best part of me. They let me be me.
And last we have Taylor Roberson, who I have warned her not to sing in the microphone. So if she does, I'm sorry.
Go for it.
My favorite part. My favorite part of me is my coily dark hair. To begin with, my hair is my favorite part of me because it represents my culture. Also, it's the first thing people notice about me. Next, an afro is a genetic trait that a lot of my family has. Another reason is I'm able to do a lot of styles with my hair because of the length and texture. When I have braids in and I put beads in them, I can shake my hair and it makes noise. Lastly, my family and I make jokes about our hair together. I feel my hair is the best part of me for these reasons.
If I could have brought all 50 students, I would have, because they were all just amazing and they did a wonderful job talking about themselves and being descriptive and using all the adjectives. So thank you for letting us share that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, teachers. Thank you, Mr. Lockhart. And thank you, parents. And we have some pretty great kids, don't we? We have some really great kids. At this time, we will entertain public comments.
Mr. Racy.
I think you said me.
Give me the list, I'll announce it.
Good evening, board. Mr. Hart, Mark Basie, Director of District Athletics. And in that consent agenda that just got approved, there's a really important hire to me. Tonight, excited and emotional, but you guys approved the consent agenda with Megan Mattingly as our new athletic director at Danville High School. Megan comes to us, she was a graduate of DHS in 2017, three-sport athlete, volleyball, basketball, softball. She excelled in all those athletic events here. She was a great student. She left us, went to Eastern Illinois, played softball there, Division I softball player. Started in 218 of the 220 games during her 4-year career. She was the Ohio Valley Conference Player of the Year her senior year, and which was a great accomplishment, but also the fact that she was the Ohio Valley Conference Scholar Athlete of the Year is really important to us as we hire her. She got her bachelor's degree while she was at Eastern. She got her master's in educational leadership in 2022. She then went off and taught in Indiana, and she taught PE. She coached volleyball, softball, and was athletic director at the middle school there. And her and her husband then moved back to Illinois, and she took a job at the University of Illinois where she is, until we hired her today, the director of operations for the University of Illinois softball team. She served in that role at the start of this year until this job became open, and she expressed her interest, and we hired her. And so she'll leave there and come to us here shortly. Her start date will be December 8th. Megan brings a vast level of experience, both academically, athletically. She played at the highest level of Division I athletics, and then she also got to be on the administrative side of that. And as the changing landscape of athletics in college is going on, and of course our goal is to have our kids go on and pursue their dreams in college, she has the incredible knowledge of being a player recently and then being on the administrative side. So she will help our kids drastically in that area. We welcome her. I'm so excited to have her. Her husband Peyton is here. Grady was here. He's out in the hall. So we welcome them to the Viking family. And so Megan Mattingly, we're so happy to have you.
Welcome.
You want to put her on the spot?
Sure.
Speech.
Sure.
Man, it feels so good to be back. Good evening, everyone. My name is Megan Mattingly. I'm honored and incredibly excited to be the athletic director at Danville High School. I want to express my deepest gratitude to everyone who has welcomed me into the Danville family. First and foremost, I extend my sincere thanks to Mr. Bases and Mr. Bretz. Your leadership, your trust, and belief in my vision for the future of Danville athletics means the world to me. I am eager to work alongside you and the entire administration to build upon the strong foundations already in place. On September 22nd, we lost one of our own who made a difference in so many lives. A light, a leader, and an incredible mentor. I take on this role striving to be as impactful as Mr. Gritton was, as a leader, as a human, and as a mentor. It feels so good to be home. Go Vikings.
We welcome you and welcome you to our family. It'll be great to have you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ashley?
You're okay. Good evening, board, Ms. Parker, Mr. Hart. My name is Ashley Omler. I'm a proud parent of District 118. Tonight, I wanted to come forth after some recent attention that's been made amongst the public regarding the distrust of the school district, the administration, and the school board.
I'm here to debunk those statements and share how trust has been validated amongst our educational journey. To give you a quick little background, our journey has consisted of roughly 7 years, divided up amongst 3 buildings, and we've had 5 administrators during our time. Throughout the years, I've reached out to teachers, building administrators, a few department heads, assistant superintendent, both current and past, and a few school board members, both current and past. I have never once felt that my voice has not been heard. Have we always agreed on things? Absolutely not. But there's been a mutual understanding for one another. And to me, that's trust. It's also respect when it comes to the partnership of a child's education that every parent should have. I've used multiple forms of communication, whether it be phone calls, emails, even in-person meetings. And I've always had a response given to me in a timely manner from the individuals I listed above. The vital turning point for my husband and I that we have had trust and validation amongst our time within the district was an in-person meeting that I personally requested with an individual that I prefer not to name. I asked for that meeting in person due to the fact that I had a lengthy amount of questions, concerns, and feedback. That meeting was granted. The meeting occurred the day before Thanksgiving break. And let's be honest, nobody wants to meet with a parent the day before Thanksgiving break, but yet all the questions, concerns, and feedback, both positive and negative, were addressed. When I left that meeting as a parent, I knew that at the other side of the table, there was a listening ear, accountability that individual has to seek forth any plans or actions that needed to be taken place, and simply an individual who takes pride in the district that wants to make sure that standards and expectations will be met. Truthfully, I felt that that meeting was probably better than any parent-teacher conference I've attended, and that's no offense to any of my child's former teachers or current teachers, and I want to publicly thank that individual. There's more that I could go on about trust and give multiple examples throughout our time with the district, and I won't bore you with all of them, but I do want to thank many individuals, you all know who you are, who have been a part of our partnership and my own child's educational journey. I take a lot of pride as a parent with this district. I'm not originally from here, neither is my husband, and we've made our time with the district, what we've made of it, with our own journey. And I understand that we are in a rebuild phase, and we have been for quite a few years, but it takes a lot of patience, a lot of hard work to see growth in multiple areas, not just within the buildings among the district, but also the school board as well. And I feel that we have the right team, with probably 2 of the most down-to-earth individuals leading the way for us that are willing to get their hands dirty and put in the hard work and the long hours. A listening ear goes a long way, and I want to remind the public that there's trust that can be gained amongst this district. It may not always be shared publicly, as some of us choose to live a little bit more privately, but it's consistently happening amongst the district in many buildings. I see it on a daily basis in my own child's building and also the building I work in. There's students that simply want to come to school, that want to excel and reach their highest potential, and yet there are parents who are proud that their child is a part of this district. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. That means way more than you could imagine. So thank you very much. Treasurer's report is just, okay. That makes it easy. I will entertain a motion to approve the treasurer's report. Thank you. A second? Thank you. Any discussion? Concerns?
Just the balance is going down, makes me uncomfortable. I think it's important people actually go back and look at the balance going down. But it isn't going down in a way we didn't expect. But I don't just want to not say that. By about $1 million. It's a lot. That's all for me.
Thank you. Anyone else? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Easton,
Yes.
Dr. Howard,
Yes.
Mrs. Porter,
Yes.
Ms. Hayes,
Yes.
Mrs. Sam,
Yes.
Mr. Wharton,
I'll abstain.
Mrs. Allen.
Yes. Motion carries 6 with 1 abstention. Thank you. I will let you do the next introduction for business and finance with the 2025 preliminary tax levy discussion.
Thank you. So, we have Mr. Gary Lewis, who has been, the interim director of Business and Finance Department, and he's gonna walk us through the levy. Thank you, Mr. Lewis.
I hate to be the one to bore you after all this nice stuff. So I provided you the spreadsheet I use. It's from PMA, which I've worked with for years when I was superintendent at Oakwood and Catlin. It's just a nice spreadsheet to plug numbers in and it pops it up. The AV was, this early assessment was up 5.89%. I went to Mr. Hart and said, how do we want to do this? Do we want to try to capture all of it? How do we want? And he came back after talking with some of you guys to just do a flat levy of what we did last year. So what you have in front of us, and you'll see the tax rates, that 272 in the ed fund, that at some point was, a referendum was ran that the public went and raised that. Because for a K-12 district, it's, the minimum is 250. So you've run a referendum at some point to run that. Those funds, you're going to get what you ask, you're gonna get what you asked for, but you can't get any more on those funds that have a locked rate, and that's sometimes hard to understand. The ones when you're not a tax capped, which Vermilion County isn't, the ones you have to be careful of are your uncapped ones, which are your Social Security, municipal retirement, and your tort. There you're gonna get what you asked for, and if you're wrong on your EAV, that tax rate's gonna go through the roof to make sure you capture that money. What we're looking at this year to get a flat, no increase on the amount of money we bring in. Working cash right now, we still on about a $3.1 million balance. There wasn't a whole lot. I've looked, gone back, we've done much with that. So this year, I propose not to levy anything in that, just to kind of hold that. Also, if you watch around the state, there's been some reports of some schools having huge reserves. Then you get into a plan, you have to spend that down. As I tell my wife, who is a CPA, there's the school administrator in me, and there's a guy that pays taxes in me, and we fight continually. Because I don't want to pay any more tax than I have to, but as a school administrator, I want to get as much money as I can. Tort, this is just reduced by $750,000. We have a nice balance in there too. So that I feel comfortable doing that. And life safety, we have a $1.5 million balance in that. I think we can go a year without $250,000 bringing in. So your tax rate last year, the final tax rate before the tax, what they calculated the tax bills on, was $4.46. The estimated tax rate, spit out this with your bonds. Your bonds are always, you're going to pay that no matter what. And we do have a bond coming off. We're paying off our oldest bond this December, so that'll come off. So that'll won't lower the rate so much because some of the payments on the other bonds ramp up a little bit, and that gets you to pay those off faster. We're looking at about a $4.21 tax rate. Equal amount of money we've got. I've talked with John. You've got balances, and is it Mr. Easton? Is that right? Yeah. I understand. And it's hard. My wife in business, she's like, 1 month you look horrible, and next month you look great. I'm like, all the money comes in at once, and then we spend it. And then money will come back again. So that'll flow. And that's something I've talked with John about. We probably need to look at how we're spending, and maybe get into a need versus want. Again, we don't. The last 6 years when I was regional superintendent, was the first time I've ever had money. When I first became a superintendent, was the start of the proration days. So I always did this kind of stuff with budgets, and it's like, squeeze every penny you can. So this is a rate I think that is good. I think it'll give you the money you need for next year. I imagine your EBF will go up again next year. It went up about $2 million this year, so that some of that will be offset. But I do see a trend where the reserves are going down a little bit, and that's probably something we need to talk about. And I've shared some other ideas with Mr. Hart, some things you need to look at. I appreciate you putting your trust in me to pop in here and help out. I'm sorry I can't stay as long as I wanted to, but I had another job I'd already applied, and they called and got me. Any questions? I know this is quick and fast.
Yes, I do. Our current rate is, our projected one for this year is
4.21.
And what is it currently?
The final rate was $4.46.
Okay, and so, for, what does that mean for the taxpayer for their tax bill? Everything you're talking about, what does that mean for them?
It shouldn't go, well, it depends on what their house is assessed at. That's where we get in. We don't control the assessment of the houses.
Exactly.
We're not asking for any more money, so with the rates going up, that rate should probably come down. The rate for the school will be roughly around 421. Now, I understand that's an estimate, but I did check with the other county superintendents that I worked with when I was at Oakwood and Callan, and they said the assessor in the office has been pretty close to the number that they give out for the estimated EAV. So I felt pretty confident in that. Again, you're not asking for any more, so I don't expect they might pay a little more. That's depending on how their house is appraised. And I know a lot of assessors have gone around, not just in this county, other counties, and have really raised the values of houses as they sell.
So, if anyone is watching the news, there are other school districts that are looking at tax levies, and they're raising their rates for next year. So what you're telling us is actually good news for our district, our taxpayers.
Yes, your
Right.
fund balances are strong. You did it. You end up with a lot of federal money and a lot of state, additional money, which is part of this demographic, and that's what it is. And that's why that money comes to us, so we can help our kids and our staff with that, to try to help with that. I feel confident this is a good levy. Now, do I think in a couple of years, maybe you need to start looking at some stuff? Yeah, and all of us will. There's very few pockets in Illinois that the enrollment's going up. I think when I was at the ROE, the only one I could ever really count on for growth was Champaign and Mahomet. And everybody else is going down.
Right. Anybody else have a question, concern? I can't tell you how much we appreciate you stepping in, taking a look. You've done great work, and it is very much appreciated. We're really sad to see you go. It wasn't long enough, but we know where to find you if we have questions.
I've known John for a long time. I said, if he needs me, I'll come back and do some stuff.
That's
I do want to put in a plug. I stepped in the office. The ladies in the office do an amazing job. I'm asking for stuff today to try to, I've honestly never touched Skyward in my life, which is our financial program. So I'm like, what does this mean? What is this? What's this? Run that, please. And so I'm just looking at some stuff, just going to clean some stuff up. Again, I've done this. I did this for 20 years before I became a regional superintendent, and then I didn't have to do so much with budget anymore. But it's been fun to get back in and do this. So thank you for the opportunity.
Really appreciate your work.
Mr. Lewis, this will be on display for 20
It
days,
has to be on
correct?
display for 20 days, so we'll be on display for 20 days. And one thing I did give you what this sheet is what will actually turn into the county. I always remiss, I never shared that with my other boards. They're like, what do you turn in? So that's what it comes in. And then we'll have an abatement with only about $150,000 worth of abatement. That is figured into this levy on the bond payment, and that's something you'll see next month from Chapman and Cutler. They'll write the resolution. You guys just approve it, and that's just what those bonding houses do. So that you hit all the legal buttons, so you don't have to mess anything. And other than that, I hate to run, but our oldest is autistic, and he's with my 80-year-old father-in-law, so I'm going to let him go.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
And if anybody has any questions, please, I'm here Monday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Feel free to reach out and give me a holler, or just email. these things are no fun to try to understand. Because when I say $2.72, it's actually, when you're gonna multiply it, you move those decimal to the right or to the left, 2 places, and then you go that way. But I think you've got a good levy, I think you've got good balances, but there's some stuff John and I've talked about that you need to look at. And I've been through some very slim times in schools, and you want to get ahead of it rather than try to catch up. All right?
You look good in
Thank you.
118 gear.
Thank you. I think Ms. Pabst, as soon as I walked in my office, it was all right there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, where are we? Yes, okay. 2025 IAR ACT presentation. And that would be Mr. Rice and Mr. X.
And the whole team.
And the whole team.
I'm actually Mrs. Lauer tonight.
Okay, all right.
You look a lot better since yesterday.
There we go.
Good evening, Board, Mr. Hart, Markeisha Parker, Associate Superintendent. Again, I am excited to be here with our amazing team. And we're going to share our 2025 Illinois Report Card data. So as always, Mr. Hart has already shared the vision, the mission. I'm going to share the vision, theme, and our goals, and then I'll turn it over to our team. So our vision is to equip every student with the knowledge, skills, and support needed to succeed in college, career, and life through personalized learning, targeted support, and whole child development. Our theme this year is D118 ready, ready for college, ready for careers, and ready for life. Our district goals, our SMART goal number 1 is state assessments. We want to increase the number of students that meet or exceed on state assessments by 10%. Our goal number 2 is to decrease chronic absenteeism to 25% or less. And goal number 3 is our SEL goal. We want to utilize multi-tiered systems of support to provide appropriate interventions to improve building culture and student interaction as evidenced by a reduction in suspensions and expulsions by 15%. So with that, I will turn it over to Mr. Rice. Oh, I guess I should do our WIG before I let Mr. Rice go, but we have a district WIG, our wildly important goal, and that is to improve teaching and learning, and we do that by ensuring that training, development, and support for high-performing instructional teacher teams to support adult learning and development to advance student learning and performance. Okay, Mr. Rice.
Thank you. We talk about these so much, Mrs. Parker didn't even have to look at the screen. So impressive. Good evening, Board. Mr. Hart. On October 30th, all things district data related, including student performance on our state assessments, finally became official and it was released to the public via the Illinois Report Card. So we're looking forward to sharing that information with you tonight. I'll start off by looking at things from the district perspective, and then we'll give each principal the opportunity to discuss how that impacts their specific buildings. If you think back a couple presentations ago, we talked about the house and how all things that schools are trying to earn their designation scores, earn as many points as they can. They wait for this house to pop up every fall so they can look at the points they've accumulated. And you remember the key components to that house are everything from proficiency in ELA and math, looking at our growth in those content areas as well, chronic absenteeism, 5 essential survey. If you're at DHS, 9th grade on track, and graduation, of course, plays into that designated score as well. Remember, schools can be designated at 4 different levels, from exemplary to commendable status, targeted, or identified for school improvement and comprehensive status. This year, our results, we had 6 schools placed in commendable status, 1 school that was targeted, and schools placed in comprehensive status. And we can kind of break down that specific data and how it relates to our district and kind of do a 24-25 comparison. In 2024, our designation status, we had 3 schools in designation status, and that is true again this year in 2025. The thing that's kind of missing from that when we identify that is the schools that are in designation status at the end of fiscal year 24 have to participate in all these things we've talked about with ISB and school improvement meetings and making goals and putting systems in place, and our schools have progressed out of that status into fiscal year 25. Some of our schools that were successful previously have dropped into designation status. So really what that is saying is we're kind of charged with it at the district level is we want to look at putting systems in place that can build sustainability. So when we move out of designation status, we continue to grow and close that instructional gap. We talk a lot about proficiency. So if you remember, proficiency is simple. It's a percentage of our students that meet or exceed state standards. Across our district, our ELA proficiency rate was 23%. Our math proficiency was 13% of our students meeting or exceeding state standards. We've talked about how growth is much heavily weighted and is a huge indicator as far as the direction that we're moving as a district. When we figure growth, it's calculated a little differently. The state will take a comparison between our students and their peers across the state. They will look at students that are in the same grade level, the same content area, and had a similar test score, assessment score in the past, and then they can predict how we're improving, what kind of growth we're showing in comparison to their peers across the state on assessments in future years. Sometimes they will use track data from a couple of years to try to get this formula right. 50% is the state average. So when we talk about growth, I think sometimes the misconception when you see some of these percentages, only this percentage of our students are moving. That's not true. 100% of our students are showing growth from where they were as 5th graders to where they are as 6th graders, every grade level. The data we're going to share with you here is in comparison to the state and to their peers. So our ELA growth, it's pretty much stayed consistent in ELA and math the last couple of years. In fiscal year 24, our ELA growth was 41.8%. It declined slightly to 40.7% this year in fiscal year 25. What that means is 40% of the students in our district are showing more growth than their peers across the state. Math growth improved from 41.5% to 42.6%, so 42% of our students are showing more growth than their peers across the state. We've talked a lot about chronic absenteeism. I feel like this is the one area we are trending in the right direction. We improved about 4% this year with our chronic absenteeism rate, improving to 31%. Remember, the state average was 25%, so we've closed that gap the last couple of years. That'll look a little different next year, but that's another study session for us when we talk about that. Celebrations. I feel like we have a lot of good things happening right now. We have 5 schools that have transitioned out of designation status since fiscal year 24. Our subgroup of our English learners in our district have an ELA growth at 48% and math growth at 47%. So that subgroup, that's not comparing our English learner students to another group of English learner students. Those are students that subgroup it's in the all group. So they are performing at a very high level, close to the state average. So that's something that really sticks out is our English learners are performing at a higher level, really in consistent comparisons to the state. One area for growth, I think we're always talking about closing that instructional gap. We'd like to see those scores go up, but really we want to close that instructional gap between our district and how the state's performing. I think that's how we get a true comparison of how we're performing. So before I turn it over to the principals, if you guys have any questions from a district perspective, I'd love to answer. If not, we'll keep it rolling. Okay. Mrs. Shanks.
Okay, so this is the house that we all get with our specific number. So this is specific to Edison. Something we don't talk about on the next slide or any of our slides is the culture and climate survey, the 5 essentials. That's really important data that we get from our parents, students, and staff, and we take that and then we can build upon that. If you get 100% participation from the students, that's how you get those points. So that's something we don't talk about, but it is really important to get that data. So that doesn't show growth, but it does show we got participation. When I was looking at Edison's numbers, we had participation above the state average in all 3 categories. So I feel like we're getting some good data there. The rest of it I'll talk about on our slides. My second year 2024 at Edison, we did get out of designation and we're commendable. Our score was 43.89. We now, third year, we are still commendable, but we have risen to 67.82. Very proud of our staff and very proud of the work they've done. it's huge, and I just celebrated with my staff the other day. It's phenomenal the things they're doing, which leads me to the growth. Our growth with our students is 56.8, which is above the growth of the state. So our students are growing higher than the rest of the state when compared to their peers. We have students who come from all walks of life, all demographics, and my teachers set the bar high, and they don't waver on that. At the same time, providing what those students need to get to that point. So the growth for me is somewhere that I think we shine and that my staff and students are doing a phenomenal job at. Growth in math is right under the state. So the state, I think, was 51, but still, we're right along path of the rest of the state in our growth. Chronic absenteeism was something when I came in, we really changed our systems. We went from 32% chronic absenteeism down to 23%, so 9% in the last year. That was huge too, and again, I give that to my staff and the relationships that are being formed with our families. One thing to celebrate, our indicator score is 25 points up. I mean, I think that speaks for itself when I gave you the difference in 1 year. So we, as a staff, got out of designation and they didn't stop. They're still not stopping. They're still going and they want to know, how do we get higher? How do we go further? So every single staff meeting we have, whether it's about what we're doing for the year or whether it's a specific data meeting, we talk about the data and the goals, and they want to continue to improve. They are never satisfied with where they are, and you can see that in every classroom. Somewhere we want to continue to grow is to close that instructional gap in the proficiency. So while our proficiency numbers aren't as high, that's kind of where we're focused. And again, we're not ready to stop. We want to keep going.
Well done.
Great job.
Good evening. I don't want to use the mic. Good evening. I'm Mrs. Gerard, representing Liberty. Thank you all for coming out this evening. It's great to see you. So I'm going to go to our next slide. Just like Edison and our climate survey, the teachers worked really hard to make sure that we had 100% in that so we could get all of those points. Our designation for 2024, we had 47.25 points. Our designation was commendable. This year, we dropped about 9 points, and unfortunately, those 9 points was enough to lower our designation by 2 to comprehensive. Now, it's a little bit tricky. So our ELA growth was 32 points. Math growth, 38 points. However, what changed, what got us commendable for the last 2 years was our ELA and math growth. Now, although that went down, what did go up was the percentage of students who met on the IAR exam. So although growth declined, the amount of students who met did increase. In ELA, that went from 12% to 17%. In math, that went from 4% to 14%. Unfortunately, that's just not how the cookie crumbles when it comes to maintaining the designation status. So we do have a little bit to celebrate. We do want to increase that growth, make sure that we're closing that instructional achievement gap so that we will rise in our status. I'm standing here today telling you we will not be comprehensive next year. So another thing to celebrate, our chronic absenteeism last year was 34%. That has dropped to 30%. So we're on our way. We started off very strong this year, and then hand, foot, mouth hit, and then it snowed. My people aren't coming in the snow. They're not coming in the snow. They don't want those babies to get cold. But we're just going to keep on plugging away. We're planning a Spirit Day, Spirit Week. One of those is going to be December 2nd, which is 6-7 Day. Yeah, we're going to incorporate that to try to boost attendance and spirit in the schools. But once again, I will end by saying next year, we will not be comprehensive. So don't worry. I have belief in my staff. Oh, and when it comes to chronic absenteeism and how we're improving that, I just want to say happy birthday, Mrs. Funk. That is our home program interventionist, and she works tirelessly to make sure that we're finding ways to decrease our chronic absenteeism. Are there any questions? Awesome. You guys have a wonderful evening.
Good evening. I'm Stacy Sollers. I'm principal at Mark Dimon Elementary. Our house points are a 52.08, which puts us in commendable status for this school year. Some of the growth that we've had when I first started at Mark Dimon, we were targeted and comprehensive status, and we have risen up out of the ashes to commendable. So we're super excited going from 37 to 52. Thank you. Our ELA growth is a smidge higher than the state, so we're very excited about that at 51%. And our math growth is just a smidge lower than the state at 48%. Chronic absenteeism, that is what really kills us at Mark Dimon. We were at 46%, but we did improve by 4 percentage points in this past year. The thing to celebrate is that comprehensive to commendable status, but I have to give all the credit to our staff and students for committing to the work that we've asked them to do, and just being committed to the programs that we've put in place at Mark Dimon, because that is how we are rising above where we have been. The area for growth for us is just to continue what we've already been doing, is fully implementing that MTSS model to increase proficiency in our academic growth and also our chronic absenteeism. Chronic absenteeism has to be one of our focuses with our home program interventionist and our attendance secretary. So we will probably be coming and asking for some things. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Kelly Truex, but today I'm Mr. DeLauer from Mead Park. I'm covering for Mead Park today, but first I just want to say how proud I am of all of these principals. If you guys knew how much work they have done to do this, and I think all of us directors would say the same thing. I'm just very proud of them, and they should be very proud of their data and everything they've done, and of course the staff. But they have had to do state meetings and lots of extra paperwork and time and data, and they have put the work in. So I just want to say that. I'm very, very proud of them and very happy to work with all of them. So Mr. DeLauer's house, Mead Park, he also, Mead Park came out of designation this year. He was thrilled. They were targeted last year with points of 40.27. When you're targeted, you have a student group that is over 20 that didn't meet the goal. And so he had a targeted group. This year, he was commendable, 45.09. So he was thrilled, and the staff was thrilled as well. Their ELA growth is 40.5, and their math growth is 43.5. Chronic absenteeism improved from 38 to 31, and they're celebrating their target student group, which were their Black students, and they improved from a 38.63 overall score to a 54.13 overall score. That was huge, and he was very proud of that, so I want to share that with you all. And they are working on math growth at Mead Park. So I don't think I said everything he would say, but I did the best I could.
Great.
Good evening, board. I'm Charles Prophet, principal at Southwest Elementary. Our house score was a 50.73. Like Ms. Shanks explained earlier, we received full credit in the climate survey, and there is a lot of data that we can look at and build off of. This is my third year there, and so we are changing that climate. And our climate survey is showing that for a nice change. So we're very proud of that. Our house points for 2024 were 55.15, commendable. This year we did a slight dip to 50.73, we're still in commendable. We are still building relationships with the new students we had last year, as well as all of the new students that we gained this year. Our ELA growth was a 50.1. Our math growth was a 44.3. Chronic absenteeism was 29% in 2024, and there was a dip there as well to 32% for 2025. I will say that my home liaison, Marta Mitchell, is phenomenal with working with our parents and the absenteeism rate. She's on the phone constantly, along with Jasmine Owens, our social worker. They're doing home visits. So I'm very proud of the work that they are doing. We also have Mr. Coy, who comes out, meets with students now, and is also going with Miss Mitchell and Miss Owens on home visits to our students. So he's from the ROE. So we're proud of where we are headed to. I will put it that way. One thing that we do want to celebrate, math last year was not our WIG goal. I set the bar at 45, and everyone said we couldn't meet it. That was just going to be way too difficult. We scored 44.3. So I think we did pretty good when that wasn't even our WIG goal. And so our area for growth, we're still going to focus on ELA. This year we have everybody teaching the same curriculum. And I think we're going to see some advancement in our ELA growth as well. So thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, board. Brent Lockhart, principal at Northeast Elementary School. You will notice on ours we have one more category there on the house because we have science. So we're elementary school, but then we also have upper elementary with 5th and 6th grade. So you'll notice that there. And real quickly, you can see the ELA proficiency. We've got a perfect score. I'll notate that on the next slide, and also at the climate survey. So 24, we had a 70.43, and we did go up 4 points to a 74.71, getting closer to the exemplary status, which I believe was 81.99. Yeah, we're getting there. ELA growth at 53, math growth at 49, and improvement in chronic absenteeism, it did go down. So, even though it's low at 4.6, we're still trying to get even better at that. So we're down to 4.3. We did note already before that we had the full proficiency in ELA. So we're going to continue to keep that up. And then one area for growth is to continue to close the instructional achievement gap compared to the state level performance in both ELA and math. We want to improve and grow in both of those. Thank you.
Good evening, board. I'm Robin Fluno, principal at Southview. I don't feel like I should have to go after Northeast, but that's the way they make it go. So we did get at Southview all 5 of our climate survey, and that's the only one I'm going to talk about there. There were lots of wonderful things that happened at Southview last year. We moved from comprehensive to targeted, and we had almost a 10-point growth. ELA and math both, we had 40.6% growth. Our improvement in chronic absenteeism went from 31.3 in 2024 to 15.8% in 2025. That was our WIG last year, and that's what we focused on. I have 3 of the most amazing home program interventionists that you could want, and they can track you down if you disappear. And so the thing that I'd like to celebrate the most is the movement from comprehensive to targeted, and our area for growth is overall math proficiency. But I think one thing I'd also like to celebrate would be the fact that almost all my feeder schools are now commendable, so that they're coming to me And so we should be seeing all of my scores go up as well. So I want to thank all of them for all the wonderful help they're giving me too. So any questions? Thank you.
Oops, good evening, members of the board, Mr. Hart, Mrs. Parker. I'm Michael Gorley, building principal at Northridge Middle School. Our index score for this past year is 38.24. That's close to a 12-point dip in the previous year. But it is worth noting that we just missed commendable by half a point. So it was razor thin, and we learned that the state of Illinois does not round up, unfortunately. On our survey score, a climate score of 4.87, that is the highest it's been there since I've been there. I've increased it the last 2 years. This is my third year, and that's double the previous administration's last year on that score. So just worth noting that as well. That last one was a 2.4. And so the last 2 years, we're at 4.83, I think, and then 4.87. On the next slide, just some things to point out. So there is that close to 12-point dip from 49.8 commendable to drop down to comprehensive 38.24. Of that near 12-point dip, like 9 of it combined came from the ELA dip in the ELA growth to 35.6 and the math growth to 41.9. And so that was where we took the biggest hit, was the comparison between this year's sophomores and this year's freshmen, if you can think of those two groups in terms of when they take that spring assessment. Okay. Chronic absenteeism, another dip. We're 40.7 in 2024, 43.1 in 2025, so an increase in that. We spent half the year with a substitute attendance secretary because ours resigned mid-year. And so that led us to some difficulties in terms of staying on top of she was really good, and we had a wonderful sub. She was really good at the day-to-day functioning of the school, getting kids out for doctor's appointments and called in, but in terms of helping stay on top of us, cleaning up the report for the state, that became challenging. One thing to celebrate, went back and did some digging, our ELA proficiency, again, not growth, but the proficiency since 2021 to 2025 has gone up steadily by a total of 5.4. So that's a nice trend going up, and I think I attribute that to just some dedicated teachers in the ELA program, obviously, some of the AVID strategies and partnerships we've done to help improve instruction. So hopefully we're going to continue to see that growth continue, or that proficiency trend upwards. And then, excuse me, then obviously one area we're going to focus on is chronic absenteeism. That is a big portion of the overall composite score for everybody, and we've got a lot of ground we can gain there and hopefully get back up, and we're looking forward to being commendable next year. So missing it by razor thin, we felt kind of cheated that they didn't round us up, but a lot of work and effort went into that, and we're pretty confident we'll get back there next year. All right. Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Hart and Board of Education. Jacob Bretz, Principal of Danville High School. So Danville High School has earned a commendable status based on last year with a score of 40.71. In 2023, we were comprehensive. The last 2 years, we've now been commendable, but you'll see on this slide, we've still shown growth within the commendable rating. So last year, or in 2024, our total designation status points were 24.53. Last year, they were 40.71. Our house is made up a little bit differently. Freshmen on track and graduation rate play a big role. Those two things combined make up about close to 60 of the 100 available points. Graduation rate making up actually half of the available points, 50 of them of the 100. So last year we had an increase of 5.7% in our freshmen on track, finishing at 79.8% of first-time freshmen being on track for graduation after their freshman year. Our graduation rate increased by 9% up to 78.8%. We had I probably didn't type that in the best on chronic absenteeism. So we decreased the number of students who were chronically absent by 1.9%. So it is slight, but it is an improvement. So 2 years ago, we were at, I think it was 38.2, and we finished at 36.3. So that minus 1.9% is positive. That means less kids were chronically absent. One thing to celebrate is our growth in the graduation rate. It's actually risen 17.1% over the last 2 years. The staff work really, really hard. I think one thing I've learned is if you get teachers quality information in a timely manner, they can do a lot of good stuff. And the Danville High School teachers, home liaisons, school counselors, and our social workers and our social emotional learning team. I'm probably forgetting another group, but they have done a lot of work, and I've pushed them really hard the last 2 years, and they've really risen to the challenge. As far as the graduation rate, KDBA deserves a lot of credit too. While they don't have a house, like their students are our students, so they played a role in all of this, but they do a really good job getting the students we send them to the finish line, so they are to be commended for that. Area of growth, I would say, our ELA and math growth. So as Chris said, or Mr. Rice said, state average is 50%. So we have 43.2% of our students growing more than the state average in ELA, and 43.9% of our students growing more than the state average. But we'd like to obviously get that at or above 50%. And then the last thing I'll mention, so if you go back a slide, so the ELA proficiency and math proficiency, each of those you can earn up to 7.5 points. And so over the last 3 years, we have earned more points in terms of student proficiency as well within ELA and math. So appreciate it. Thank you for listening.
Just sum up, thank you to our principals for presenting this evening. I know it's their favorite thing to do. A lot of things you see we can celebrate, but we will still put in the work to meet our mission, which is to have our students reach their fullest potential. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. That was efficient. It's all information that we need to know. I know it takes a while because we have so many schools, but we really appreciate the effort you're making. We appreciate the data that you're collecting and pushing your staff and your students. It shows, and we're proud of you. So thank you very much. At this time, our very favorite item, talk about school calendars for the first reading of probably 10 maybe?
I hope not.
Okay.
Good evening, Board, Mr. Hart. I'm hoping that was gonna be my opening line, that this will be part one of the only time I'll be up here for school calendars for this school year. So we are happy to give you the school calendar for next school year for a first reading tonight. We did work with a committee of DEA members to come up with the school calendar that we're in agreement on, and we would like to present that to you tonight for a first reading, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have.
Questions, Board?
Pretty straightforward.
It is. Thank you for your work.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate it.
Mrs. Button, do you want to talk about the beginning of the school year for 26-27?
Yeah, there was one change that was made after the committee met, and that was to take out, we normally have a Staff Institute Day in October, which is something that the county does. And we've reflected on it the last couple years, and it's just not something that is probably as successful as we would like for it to be, based on feedback and then attendance, those types of things. So there were some suggestions and feedback that we move that day to the beginning of the school year. And so We're gonna have 3 days at the beginning of the school year. Students will have a normal attendance day when we would normally have had professional development in October. We'll have 3 days before school starts with students, so we scooted back the original date that we had planned, but we'll get out a day earlier than we had planned. So I hope that people hear that part, the teachers hear that part. So we're excited about the opportunity to have 3 good days of professional development at the beginning when teachers will not lose the plan that we normally have where they get the ability to work in their classrooms, those types of things. But we will do some really targeted professional development on one of those days.
And we might not know this yet, but does this mean that graduation will not be on Memorial Day weekend?
That is a Mr. Bretz and Mr. Hart thing. If everything goes as planned, we end a little bit, we'll end before, but yeah.
Seniors always got a little early.
So that was another thing that I would hope the teachers love it when we get out before. I think parents do too, before Memorial Day, maybe, some of them, maybe not all of them, but.
And we need the weather to cooperate.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll be talking about that in a little bit later tonight.
Okay.
Anything else?
I just, can I ask about
For
the
first reading?
Northeast start date?
Oh, that will be Mr. Lockhart.
Okay. I just feel like it has moved up since my kids have gone. Now, that's been a few years ago, but what might have precipitated to make that happen? Because I remember a certain event they were in the summer, and it was always after that event, which was almost the last week of July, like at least in the 20s. So I don't know, I feel like it's a week earlier. I think we had the full 3-week break for each, but I don't know, it just seems, what's their fault? What's their summer break then? Is it 6 weeks? 6?
It's typically 6 weeks.
Okay, okay.
I think it's how the calendar fell.
It's the same as last year.
Okay.
We get, could it possibly be because we're getting out a little bit earlier this year than we would have?
True, yes, there you go. It's May versus June. They always went into June. Okay, there we go. All right, thank you. Answered that. Okay.
Okay.
Any other questions? Thank you, Mrs. Button.
Okay.
Thank you. It's the first reading, so we won't have a vote until it comes to us for a vote. Item number 11, contract and services with J. Casas and Associates.
Okay, I think that one's me. So I'm recommending that we, again, sign a contract with Jimmy Casas and Associates. We've worked with Mr. Casas and friends, Joy, throughout the school year. They're working with 4 schools, and we've actually looked to expand that to 6 schools, and also worked with a group of directors, and has worked, Mrs. Parker and I have also worked with Mr. Casas and Joy as well. We feel like it's very beneficial, and the principals have asked to continue our contract with him. And we are looking at, he actually split the bill. They work from January through August, and so their half years are a little bit different, so they cross fiscal years. So it would be a total of $47,500 in, I lied to you, $49,500 for year 1, and then $47,000 for year 2 to work with the 6 schools, the directors, and central office. This, again, will be paid from Title I. So, again, approximately $50,000 out of this year's Title I and $50,000 out of next year's Title I. I welcome any questions you have, and I ask for your approval.
Could I have a motion, please, to pass?
Motion to approve.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Having a first and second motion, do we have any discussion?
I do.
Okay.
How many years has this been in place? And, can you give us an example of some of the things that they work on with you, with the administrators, with the principals?
100%. So this is actually the second year. Last year was our first year of working
Okay.
with Jimmy Casa. We brought him in as the keynote speaker in 24-25, and we began working with him at that time. So I'm going to talk about the experience I think that Mrs. Parker and I have had. We work with him a lot to create systems to build leaders, to build our own climate within the district. That's kind of the specialty is climate. But we did find out that Mr. Casa has many talents. And so we're working with him on systems. We've talked about strategic planning. We've worked with here we go again, me and the chart, the flow chart. Give it to me, Markeisha. The organizational chart. I'm not sure why I always struggle with that one. So we've had lots of great experiences with him. A lot of times when he comes, he will meet with Mrs. Parker and I sometimes for an hour, sometimes for 3 hours. And then he'll pull in the directors. And a lot of times they'll spend the afternoon with principals, or he will see things that are happening in the district and he will actually ask to meet with the administrators, or administrators will ask to meet with them. So we really feel like we've received great benefit that will trickle down to the classroom as well. So I hope those examples answer your questions.
Yes, that helped. Thank you.
Sure.
He seems really invested in our district from the very beginning.
Very much so. And I think it's worth mentioning as well that although we are asking for another year with Mr. Casas, there is another consultant that we used in 24, 25, 26, and we will be ending that contract as well. So just to know that we are doing our best to be fiscally responsible.
Do we need a vote?
We do.
Okay. We have a first and second motion. So any more discussion? Roll call vote.
Mrs. Courtney,
Yes.
Mrs. Sam,
Yes.
Mr. Easton,
Yes.
Mr. Warfield,
Yes.
Dr. Howard,
Yes.
Ms. Payne,
Yes.
Mrs. Holler.
Yes, motion carries 7-0. Thank you. I'm sorry to do that to you, Ms. Robinson. Thank you. Stop, guys. Okay, moving on to the informational items would be you, Mr. Hart.
It is. So I'm going to ask Mrs. Bunton to come up, and she's going to just give you an update on virtual schools and where we started and where we're going.
So, just to make sure that everybody's clear, I'm gonna give you, the definition of e-learning as opposed to virtual. So e-learning we use on our emergency days, which is our weather-related days, and we just gave some information out to the principals in the schools about that. Hopefully, I think we're gonna have a different, experience with those. We're hoping not to use them this year, but we are prepared for those with packets and laptops. Teachers will be available online again from 8 to 1, and teachers K through 6 will be online with the students beginning at 9 for a quick meeting with the students. And then at 7 through 12, it'll be a particular class period will be chosen by those buildings as to when they'll meet with the students, so we can count on a specific time to meet. So, but what we're talking about tonight is virtual. And virtual schools are different than our Edgenuity courses, those types of things that we have. This would be, as I like to call it in my Mary Ellen-ness, a not brick and mortar situation. So our students would be able to attend our classes taught by our teachers using Canvas, which you guys had agreed to purchase for us, which I love. And they would go to school virtually from home or wherever they choose, wherever they are. And they would have the same experience as our students have now. So what we've done is we've been meeting, there's a committee of us that meets, and we've been reviewing the adopted, oh my gosh, I just lost the word, sorry. The adopted policy that you put in place, and we've created a administrative procedures for us to look at. Teachers around the district are getting more and more comfortable with Canvas. Not everybody has to use that, but the teachers that will be teaching virtual will do that. The committee is very much recommending that, we wouldn't start till third grade, and we would want students we don't want to teach students to read virtually. We feel very, very strongly about that, having experienced that during COVID. So we would like for them to be readers when they would start virtually. That's our recommendation, but that would be, there will be a committee that would help students apply to be in this program. 7 through 12 students that program would look a little bit different. It could be that there's teachers at the high school. Again, this is all needs to be decided still, but there could be teachers that they teach 3 sections of in-person and 2 sections of virtual because their schedule lends to it. When we have elementary folks that are teaching, they will likely be teaching virtually all day. So our next steps are, there's a few of us that are gonna meet to kind of discuss what it looks like for staffing, and then we'll work with the union to come up with some ideas. Our fabulous union president has been on the committee with me, so. No, I know, I'm having a bad, but we've been meeting regularly since, I think, March of last year. And so we've been working side by side. He helped pick the people on the committee too, so it's been very involved the entire time. So, our next steps are to move forward and, I think we could start, no, we can't, next year, no. We can start slowly. There's options. The easiest place probably for us to start would be at the high school. Mr. Bretz and I had a great conversation about it last night. But we could, I think we'll be ready to go here, I think, pretty soon. So I'm really excited about it, but I'm here to answer any questions if you have any, but if not, that's the big presentation that I have for you tonight. And if you want me to show you Canvas, I will. I'm super excited about it.
I would like to see it sometime, but
Yeah, it's
I'll
really
meet
neat.
with you.
I'd
Questions?
like to know. Yeah, I'd like to know who are the target students for the virtual.
So basically it's really interesting how the state set it up. So it's not really us seeking anybody out. The big idea is it is not students that are in trouble. It's not students that are already being met for homebound services because they're ill. These are students that will perform better, or we believe and their families believe that virtual experience will help them perform better academically. So there's criteria that they need to meet. That's part of what we worked on in the committee. And actually, I think it was Monday night we met, and that's the criteria that we set. So there will be a committee of individuals that meet when students, they'll have to apply, and then they'll meet and interview the students, and they'll have to have proven somehow that they're likely to be successful in this environment. But what's really interesting as well is you sign up for a semester-long situation. And while we can, if something's not going well, we can put you right back into our brick and mortar situation. We make decisions about the successfulness of it, semester to semester. So you sign up semester to semester.
So students that say go to Kenneth Bailey, would they be qualified or?
I mean, in some situations they could, but they're already in a program that is meeting their need. So, but it might be for a student, I can't, I just think that if there's a student that really would thrive in a virtual environment because like maybe, there's so many people, or like we have, sometimes we have military students, or families of military, that this would be perfect, where they could travel with their families, they could stay part of our school, and we could offer that to them. That's just an off-the-cuff example.
They have to be, tech savvy or?
That would definitely be
Important.
yeah,
Very
critical,
important,
I think, necessary, like,
Okay.
I think, yeah, we would want that. So, and I would also think they need to be interested in
Right.
being online too. So this is not something you force on them. It's very different than,
Sure.
yeah, we would want them to be interested in it. And they'll be live with the
Okay.
teacher. It's not,
Good.
yeah.
So for our students who are interested in fine arts,
Mhm.
is it possible they could do core academics virtually and then attend brick and mortar for music, art, band?
So Mr. Bretz and I were having a good conversation about that last night, and extracurriculars can be treated however we decide. My suspicion is if a student is signing up for virtual, there's a reason they're signing up for virtual. We won't. I mean, I think that will be something that will be decided. If they're our students, they're our students. So there may be virtual extracurriculars that we create as well. So, I mean, there's all kinds of opportunities with this.
When you say in trouble, what do you mean? Students who are in trouble?
So, when,
I guess just to clarify, a third of our district is chronically absent, so a third of our district's already in trouble.
so if a
Right.
student is not coming to school because the environment, the in-person environment is not comfortable for them, but if we were to give them an opportunity to be virtual and they would thrive in that situation, that's a great student for this situation. But if they are a student that we would provide this for and they still aren't gonna attend, that's not, gonna be a good situation.
Do you have any research of other districts doing it in
We-
other states that it worked well or not?
There are schools all over Illinois. We're working with a gentleman through LTC, the Learning Technology Center through the state, that's been working with us. And he's connected us with some other platforms, schools. And we started working with them at the beginning, but every school, they're all different. So we have to make this work for our community. So they just sort of got us started. But yeah, there's places where it works well, but where it comes down to is sticking to the committee that would select the students and having the purpose for the school. So making sure that you're not trying to do too many different things with it.
You imagine it would look like Northeast then, where there's an application and a group of people picking who comes, who doesn't come?
There's guidelines from the state, whereas Northeast doesn't have that.
Got it. So
Okay.
you'll have more strict rules.
Yeah, there's policy. The policy is that you guys adopted has very specific things outlined that
Yeah.
you have to consider in a virtual school, where that is not the case for Northeast. That's something that I believe a committee or our district put in place. So this is a different situation. So no, I guess it wouldn't be similar to Northeast.
Okay, so it's in what's in the board policy now. That's actually pretty stringent, if I remember the things that, it's not as, you're right, Northeast is very easy. This one, a lot of boxes have to be checked. How much do you think it'll cost?
But I don't know.
Okay, thank you.
Considering the state's requirements for data and what we're being held accountable for, we are given attendance credit for our virtual students. And how is that managed?
So it would not be different because the teacher is going to be present online with the students. And so they'll see the students and we would have, they have to have 5 hours
Okay.
of work, that 5 hours of attendance. And if you think about that, we have the students with us all day, but they have lunch with us. So if you're virtual, you're not going to watch the student eat lunch at home. You're going to work those things out. So that those pieces are going to look a little bit different. So, I mean, I hope that wouldn't be the case. So there would be breaks in, I would assume, in the time, the schedules that I've seen kind of allow for those types of things. So they would, their teacher is going to be present. So they would have the same systems. It has to look exactly like what we're offering in person. So they would use the same grade books, the same Skyward for attendance, all the same accountability systems that we would have. That's why I call it not brick and mortar, because it works just like a brick and mortar school for all of those things. It's just not brick and mortar.
Got it.
That's just how it makes sense in my head.
Okay. Any other questions? No? Thank you. That helps a lot. It's
Thank you very
exciting
much.
to think about.
I'm really excited
What a
about
great
it.
path for some students. So, thank you. Thank you very much. This is you.
This is me. So I just wanted to share the workman's compensation insurance plan that we have and just, I guess, kind of let everyone know what we paid in 2024, 2025, and just following the increases with insurance and for 25, 26. So in 24, 25, the district annually paid $54,000 for workman's comp insurance, and it has increased for the 25, 26 school year. It will be $69,000 annually. So quite the increase for insurance. So, and really not a lot different from health insurance, dental insurance, property insurance. So I just thought it was important for everyone to know kind of where we are. And as a school district, we are not shielded from inflation or price increases. So I thought it was important to share the information with the board. Thank you.
Thank you. Board comments, starting with Mr. Easton.
It was really great to see all the District 118 students supporting our veterans. I just want to say that it's really great. I know this town has a VA, so it's already very supportive of veterans naturally. I saw all the social media posts, saw the kids. It was really great to see them do that. And when we talked about the levy tonight, which I think is important, you know, a lot of students come from families that don't pay property taxes. I don't know if you know that. You saw this report card. Almost 90% of our students are in poverty. That's really high. It's gone up a lot. If you go back to the school report card and look back to 2016, 2012, it's really gone up a lot. And so what that means, I think, and I was grateful for everyone tonight that presented, you're really doing a commendable job, all of you, with the difficult setting that we are in. And no child picks the setting that they're in. We are born into our families, and so they're born into this district too. So thank you for loving them and taking good care of them. Thank you.
Thank you.
I was very happy to participate, at least by listening to all of the academic emphasis that our schools brought to bear here, because that's what we're all about. That was a little dry, and it was on paper. We had the opportunity to go to the National Honor Society induction this past week, and it was very, very uplifting to see that we have some 100 students. I don't know the number exactly, but some 100 students who are National Honor Society members. I think that's wonderful. I mean, that's the flesh and blood reflection of what you're all talking about and what you're presenting here. And those kids just quietly, efficiently, and competently go about their business, and they reflect our emphasis here and your all emphasis there very much. So thank you for that.
I want to thank all the admins. You guys are doing such a great job. I feel like there are so many good things going on in our district, and I'm very, very proud of all of them. I do want to give a shout out to our JROTC Color Guard. This is the third year that they have been invited to present the colors at the Illinois State School Board Convention. I feel like that is a huge honor, and I'm very proud of the 4 that are going. So just a huge shout out to that program.
Thank you. Ms. Payne?
The students in Northeast, the poems, they were just fantastic. I really enjoyed listening to that. For the principals, as a retired administrator, I know the effort that you put forth over and beyond. And it gets harder every year because circumstances change. So I want to commend you for, I was taking notes on every school on where you were, where you had been, and where you are now. And I'm very impressed. So kudos to the administrators. Thank you.
Mr. Warfield?
I want to second that with the about me from the Northeast students. I think that presentation was great. I think honestly it touched on a topic that a lot of kids are dealing with at all levels, with social media, with just dealing with their peers. Sometimes it's hard to be confident in who you are, and for them to be able to focus on some part of them that they truly enjoy. I think that's a beautiful thing. Kudos to their teacher for bringing that to them as well. So I think that's a wonderful thing. I also want to share that I got to go to Bourbonnais for the District 3 Jazz Choir competition, performance, not competition. And just wanted to just share that we had 4 students from our district that were able to go and qualified and got to participate in that event day long. And it was a beautiful thing just to see them with other students from around the area, showcasing talent and bringing a good representation from DHS. So I appreciated that. And then also I second the National Honors Society induction. It was a beautiful thing. It's great to see the support that these children are already receiving, the love that they have for the teachers that are supporting them. They can see it. It gives them pride in what they're doing. And I love seeing that they are pushing themselves to even be better because of what you're doing for them. So continue to support them. They feel it. And we thank you for what you do.
This is hard going last. I would echo everything that was said pretty much. I was at the NHS induction as well, and the kids that presented today were wonderful. The one thing I wanted to, 2 things. One was it's wonderful when you principals and everyone in our district, you acknowledge and want to give thanks to other people that had the kids before you. It says such great things about you as a team member. Being part of the team, you're not just looking at your little part, you're putting everything together, and wonderful. Kudos to you guys for seeing the whole picture and for being acknowledging others. It makes us a great, stronger team. And it's kind of a funny thing I'll end on, the Halloween, this Halloween, in an effort to help the teachers with this annoying thing that's going on in the classroom, that 6-7. I wore a 6, my husband wore a 7, and the kids that came up for Halloween trick-or-treating, they were like, oh my gosh, 6-7, and they were all repeating it, and it's like the middle school kids, I think, and younger, but we were trying to help you guys, so you're welcome.
The best way to take care of a fad is for the adults to be part of it, and it'll go faster, right? Thanks, everybody. We haven't met since we had a threat made against our district, and I want to address that just very, very quickly. You can't imagine the number of compliments I have received from people in the community. At the grocery store, I was at Festival of Trees, and the manager of the Civic Center sought me out to tell me what an amazing administrative team we had and teachers. She said she came into the Civic Center, which was our, what do you call it, our reunification center, and to see what she could do to help. And she said they had it so under control that she just went back to her office to work. She said it was a thing to see. It was really great. So I wanted to pass that on. I wanted to say thank you, all you administrators. I had a child pickup and I was so impressed that the teachers were so organized and so calm. And the children were not traumatized. The ones that I saw, they were like, "Oh, this is an adventure." And so thank you for all of that and all that you did. And Mr. Hart and Markeisha and all of you, thank you for, we got, as my husband said, we got an unintentional practice to see what goes well and what doesn't. And so some things will improve, but mostly we did good. So thank you to all of you. That was really good. I echo about National Honor Society, and the week before was the honors recognition students, where they recognized their staff members that contributed. That was all really good. 100 students were inducted into the National Honor Society. Now, other board members have recognized their academic talents that brought them to that point. I'd like to point out that they had to have community service hours to qualify for National Honor Society. Think of that, 100 kids out in our community doing things. That's amazing. Look at what we're raising. So I'm real excited about that. Today, I had the opportunity to go back to the Festival of Trees to watch the madrigals. Again, another example of how our kids make us look so good. And listening to all the people talk about, oh my goodness, what talent you have. They were outstanding and fun to watch. So thank you, Mr. Thomas and the madrigal singers. I wanted to say quickly, again, I echo thanks to the principals. That's not easy for you to put all that data together, again, just to tell us, but it means so much to us to know. I had a retired teacher approach me in the grocery store and said her daughter in Chicago is really worried about our schools in Danville, really worried. And I said, you tell your daughter she does not need to be worried. And tonight proved it. Tonight proved what we're doing and what we're doing right. And I told her that. So hopefully she's watching, and so she can tell her daughter that. I want to say thank you. I had this on my desk when I came. I got a certificate of appreciation from an anonymous person. What a nice thing. And to have a parent step up and tell us we're doing a good job. I can't tell you how much that means to us. Thank you for that, and thank you for this certificate of appreciation. One last thing. I'm aware that I have had problems with my email, my district email. So if you've been trying to get a hold of me and I've not responded, it's not because I'm not responsive, it's because I don't know it. We're working on that. Right, Patrick? He's back there. We're working on it. We're going to get it fixed and figure out why I'm not getting any board emails. So it isn't just you. I mean, I know nothing about what's happening this weekend for the state board convention because I haven't gotten any of those. But I've got good teammates here to help me out, but we'll get that fixed. So if you've been trying to get a hold of me, be patient. Try again next week. We're going to get this worked out. We are, as a board, one thing I forgot. I'm looking right at you. The evacuation. I meant to say thank you to the bus drivers. Oh my goodness. You were en route and then you were backing up. And then, what you had to do to turn those buses around to get everybody where they needed to be and to the homes where they needed to be, making sure there was an adult there. You did a commendable job. So thank you. I'm glad I looked this way. Thank you. We, as a board, are going to Chicago, some of us tomorrow, some of us Friday, for our one weekend of classes to teach us to be better board members. And we will take lots of good classes to learn to do just that. It's the one time that we have a year to improve what we do. So thanks for the opportunity to let us do that. And thank you for coming tonight. I appreciate all of you. Good night. Oh, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, thanks. Meeting is adjourned, right? And we're not having a closed session. So.